Hi guys, so I will be doing chapter 13, question 4. So the question is, this chapter outlines 8 roles played by travel intermediaries. Describe these roles, citing at least 2 actual examples of organizations that perform these roles. How important is cooperation with other organizations in providing services to customers? And are the organizations you selected performing their role effectively? So the first role of travel intermediaries is going to be retailing the services of suppliers, carriers, DMOs, and other intermediaries at locations convenient for travelers. So in the US here, we have retail sales outlets, but not every country has the capabilities for retail sales outlets. So independent and chain travel agencies will assume this role, as well as online travel companies, which are going to be probably the most popular. This then provides a major benefit to other industry groups. The second role of travel intermediaries is going to be expanding the distribution network for suppliers, carriers, DMOs, and other intermediaries. So these are going to be travel intermediaries that's main goal is to open up more channels for distributing the services of carriers, suppliers, DMOs, and other intermediaries. It's basically going to be like a huge kind of like job market. This then brings greater awareness to the services that are going to be offered by carriers, suppliers, DMOs, and etc. And then also is going to expand a booking capacity as well as reservations for the internal system. So the third role of travel intermediaries is going to be providing specialized, knowledgeable advice to travelers on destinations, prices, facilities, schedules, and services. So this basically means a travel trade intermediary that are experts at their work, which you're going to find few that aren't experts at their work. To give a prime example, we're going to have travel agents, because travel agents are going to have the most knowledge and information on hospitality and travel services. And they're also going to be the reason that developing a positive relationship with these agencies are going to give you such a rich payback. So, some of the benefits of travel agents having so much information is that it gives the company a more personal touch as well as interpersonal interaction. As you know, nowadays everything's pretty much online when it comes to booking websites, and so when you get a firsthand opinion on what a travel agent thinks, then it's going to influence your customer choices and overall benefit you. So the fourth role of travel intermediaries is going to be coordinating corporate travel arrangements to maximize the efficiency of corporations' travel expenditures. Corporate travel departments and travel agents who coordinate corporate clients' accounts are going to have way more benefits to their organization, and so they're going to be a lot more valuable. They're basically going to be in-house advisors to business travelers. So they actually perform functions that are similar to retail travel agents as well. The fifth role of travel intermediaries is going to be assembling vacation holiday packages by bringing together an array of destinations and the services of suppliers and carriers at all-inclusive packages. So all-inclusive is going to be everything included: hotels, airfare, food, etc. Basically, every travel intermediary is going to be an expert at packaging, but more specifically, where was I going? More specifically, tour wholesalers and operators are actually going to be above any travel intermediary that you look at. So these essentially make the supplier and carrier services way more attractive to customers. This is because they tailor make it to specifically what the customer needs or what the customer's goals are. So it's really tailored to you and not just a generic package. So the sixth role of travel intermediaries actually plays into the fifth role, as it's another tailor making, but it's more incentive trip wise. So it's tailor making incentive travel trips for corporations and others. Incentive travel planners are professionals at developing these special trips, and they work with obviously companies. Most of the time it's for employee incentive travel trips. And like we learned in previous chapters, when you empower your employees, it's going to give you more business, and your employees are going to be more inclined to satisfy your customers. So all in all, it's going to help you if you really invest in incentive travel trips for your employees. So when I was doing all my research for this question, I found a couple articles, and one of them had to do with First Incentive Travel, which is a highly regarded incentive travel company. So they are multilingual executive management staff. They're partnered with Site and MPI, which we obviously know in the event industry. They've worked with Honda, Nissan, BMW, T-Mobile, more big companies like that. And actually, these companies have written reviews for First Incentive Travel, and First Incentive Travel has actually been highly rated in other articles that I found, which I have attached at the end. But so First Incentive Travel actually specializes in tropical incentive trips. Going to Aruba is one of them that I found. I found something in the Bahamas. They have cruise tours that they do. So they really focus on basically what the company's goal is. So while they are tropical incentive trip focused, they can do incentive trips for whatever suits the company's goals. So the seventh role of travel intermediaries is going to be organizing and coordinating conventions, conferences, and meetings for associations, corporations, and other organizations. So this is a company that basically will throw conventions for like the government, for a big company like IAEE. That's a prime example that I could think of. But basically, it will provide a better fit between an organization's needs and the actual availability of hospitality and travel services. So it's really another one that's tailored towards what the company or what the organization needs. So the eighth and final role of travel intermediaries is going to be operating and guiding group tours. This one doesn't have a lot of substance to it. It's pretty straightforward. The main advantage of this travel intermediary is that it enhances travel experience or travelers' experiences. So this can kind of go hand in hand with an incentive travel trip, and I feel like most of the time this is when you would use this travel intermediary is for an incentive travel trip. Mainly just because it's like excursions, when you go to the Bahamas or something is what I could mostly think of. But when I was looking at articles, I found Adventure Unbound, and I also found another article that had it was top 10 tour operators all around the globe. So Adventure Unbound actually has a really interesting startup, is that it started as a rafting company because the mothering company is called Row, I believe. And so they started as whitewater rafting, and then they developed into tour guides for adventure seekers. So companies have actually utilized these when they go to different countries because it's a good way to get your employees involved and to get them doing team building activities specifically. So this company actually works all around the globe. So it has locations in North America, South America, Europe. They even it had a category for polar, so I'd imagine like places like they do ice fishing and stuff like that. I looked at a bunch of their services, and it's a really unique company for tour travel experiences with tours. So they actually won a couple of awards. They were voted number 4 out of 10 on the World's Best Tour Operator, which is one of the events or one of the articles that I read. And they also scored a 96.11 out of 100. That was on the same article. So it's a super high rating for this kind of, for this group tour company. They also were voted for their Corsica Unbound, was voted one of the 50 best tours of a lifetime. So they're definitely a good company to look out for, good company to look out for organizations who are seeking group tours for incentive travel trips or any kind of convention or meeting. So to bring it full circle, an important piece of cooperation with other organizations is because it provides good working relationships, between the organization or between the travel intermediaries, excuse me. So most travel intermediaries are going to be proficient and actually work in all 8 roles of travel intermediaries. More often than not, they have departments for each role, but there are specific travel intermediaries that are tailored specifically for one role. But it's good when, especially the travel intermediaries that are only working with one role, it's good to have working relationships with all travel intermediaries so you can recommend, you can say, hey, this is my preferred company that I work with and they're looking for blah, blah, blah. So I think cooperation with other organizations is extremely, extremely important in order to keep a happy customer. As far as the organizations go, if they're performing their roles effectively, I think they absolutely are. I mean, both the First Incentive Travel and Adventure Unbound are very highly recommended. They came with glowing reviews. They're actually not too pricey. Unfortunately, I don't have prices attached to the PowerPoint, but you know, for companies who are willing to drop a lot of money on their employees, I think they're going to be worth it, definitely. So here are my resources at the end. Thank you guys for watching.